Hi players, bonjour from France, my name is Asaf and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today we're going to have the doubtful fun of listing 10 games that disappointed me. I'm not going to say it's the top 10 games that disappointed me because I think that with the future I'm going to have maybe some more games adding up to this list. So let's say that this is probably part one of this ongoing list that I'm going to cover maybe in the future. Now, a few ground rules before we're starting the video. First of all, I know it's kind of obvious, but it's important for me to say that this is obviously my opinion, but if you have a different opinion, I would absolutely love to talk to you about it. So feel free to either join the Discord or just leave me a comment. There is nothing more that I like other than just talking board games. So that will be actually awesome. The second thing is that I think I should start by saying that I'm not really a rational consumer. Okay, the amount of games that I bought before I even checked anything about the games that I'm buying, it's too many games that I did that pretty much a mistake, just like, oh, this is a topic that is interesting for me, or this is a designer that I like, or this seems like just a cool game with its mechanisms. And I didn't verify anything. I didn't read the rule book. I didn't play on the TTS or something like that. So I think that since then I've evolved a little bit, but that made me actually do some mistakes when I got these board games. So some of these games probably are not so bad, or I shouldn't have been disappointed from them. I just needed to do a little bit of research before, but the fact is that I did get those games and I got disappointed. So let me start, and this list, by the way, is not in any kind of order. Well, maybe besides the last 3 games that I'm going to talk about, or maybe the last 2, we'll see how does it go. So the first game actually that is on this list, and probably it's the most unfair game that I'm going to say disappointed me, is actually Imperium. So this game by Nigel Buckle and also David Tutsi is something that I decided to buy only after I played Voidfall. So for me, Voidfall, which is a game that I absolutely love, probably in the top 10 or top 15 games of all time, it's just an amazing game. And I thought to myself, okay, if I love this game so much, then let me try Imperium. On the paper, it looks amazing, like at least when you're reading about it, because it's a civilization game, which I really like. And also these 2 designers, so if they created Voidfall, I must enjoy the other content, the other designs, the other games that they did. So I got Imperium. It took me a little bit of time to bring it to the table, but when I got it to the table, I was pretty disappointed. So I'm not so sure if it's because just the game itself was a catastrophe. Okay, I'm guessing that not, because I think that mechanically this game works. But for me, I think that my expectations were so freaking high that when I moved basically from Voidfall to Imperium, I was like, wow, this is completely not what I was looking for, and I was just disappointed. And later on, probably this game is going to leave my collection. There's nothing to do. That is part of the game. The next game, and maybe I'm cheating here a little bit because I have here 2 games, but it's in this genre of games. These games are actually Etherfields and Sleeping Gods. So I know I'm giving here big titles that most of the time are pretty popular and were really well received. I just think that those are pretty much the first campaign games, real campaign games that I've played since Gloomhaven. So let me break it down. Starting with Etherfields, when I saw the theme and of course the amazing production of Awakened Realms that is happening, I want to say in all of their games, but it's not entirely true. So maybe I'm hinting here a little bit about something that I'll talk a little bit later. But I saw this theme and I was very excited. Of course, all the boxes, all the miniatures, all the bling. I got, I think it was the all-in or something that is close to that. I wasn't an original backer of this game, just got it secondhand. I got the game, started to play, and so I didn't feel it. The story wasn't really what I was looking for. It wasn't as immersive as I wanted it to be. And actually, when I've heard about this game and it's like in the world of dreams and stuff like that, I was like, okay, so maybe there is some like back research for this world of dreams. I thought that maybe they're going to connect some things from the dreams that actually like people have in reality and somehow connected to maybe some mechanisms in the game or some of the puzzles that you need to work in there. But there was a lot of grind, and yes, even after the second rule book, or I think they have a second rule book for it, or even after they changed it a little bit, and even the board itself, I got the playmat that actually made the board, look on the other side. I think from horizontally it was vertically, or the other way around, I don't remember, but that was not the problem. The production was not the problem, of course, but just the game itself was kind of disappointing. Now, regarding Sleeping Gods, also, I got this game after watching so many reviews from so many channels, and of course, God forbids, I'm not calling anyone out. Each person has the right to enjoy their own games, of course. To me, the game felt like a lot of grind with not really an interesting story behind it. So I agree that it is cool that even after you're finishing the first campaign, it's basically only the beginning. But after I finished the first campaign, I had zero intentions to continue to a second campaign and moving on. Didn't enjoy this game at all, and I was actually really looking forward for it. Now, the thing is that with both of these games, maybe if I would have done a better research, I would have understood that maybe this type of campaign games are not for me. And basically, after that, I just stopped dealing with campaign games. I mean, I tried a little bit Tainted Grail, the first one. Again, it wasn't something for me. So I just thought, okay, so probably campaign games are not really for me. And since then, I kind of stopped backing campaign games or playing campaign games. I'm more into like a one-shot or something that the story is not that immersive. That changed actually when I started to play Stalker, but Stalker is more of a narrative game and a little bit less of a really campaign game. I do have kind of high hopes for Lands of Evershade, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to get it and cover the story, because I did have a conversation with Krzysztof, that is the co-designer of this game, and I did manage to read some of the text, so it does look really promising. Hopefully it will be something that will change my mind about campaign games, but for now, campaign games are really not something for me. So again, Etherfields and Sleeping Gods, while being disappointed for them, I'm not so sure that it is fair that I got disappointed from them. Moving on to the third game, and this is where I'm a little bit starting to do this switch from games that I shouldn't have been disappointed from if I would have done research, but this is where I'm starting maybe to just be disappointed from the game, and that is a War of the Ring, the card game. And it's super important for me to make sure that you understand that it's the card game, because War of the Ring, the board game, is one of my absolute favorites of all time, probably top 3 at the very least. So in my mind, when I wanted to play War of the Ring, the card game, I thought to myself, wow, did they really manage to take the feeling that you had when you played the board game, and they managed to condense it in playtime and of course in table space, and just make a card game from it? So I decided to give it a try. I got the game, got the expansion, really from the get-go. I already played it with the expansion because there is not a lot of rules to add to the base game. And sure, the game is much easier to understand, it's much more streamlined, everything is just much more easy to get to the table and play, but it is so far from the actual feeling of playing War of the Ring, the board game. So I don't know, again, if I should have done some research, and again, watching some reviews, watching some playthroughs about how does it go. Again, at that time at least, I was much more of an impulsive buyer and really not responsible. So that game, maybe if I would have done a better research, I wouldn't have bought it, but that was the case, and it's a game that really disappointed me. Moving on to the fourth game, and this is where I'm like, okay, I'm not taking any more blame, I just need to put it out there. And the next game is actually Septima by Mind Clash Games. Now, I came to this game, actually Septima is really the first time that I clicked back this game. It was on Kickstarter, it's really the first Kickstarter that I ever backed. I was hyped for it a lot. Obviously, I came to this game after playing Tricarion, Anachrony, Cerebria, so the hype for me, or the expectations that I had from a Mind Clash game, was in the roof, okay? I was really waiting to get this game. The art looked amazing. I thought to myself, okay, this is another Mind Clash game, so like this is going to be a win for sure. I got the game. Of course, production is absolutely lovely. The art is gorgeous. The table presence is great. And the game just didn't work for me. Tried to play it solo, tried to play it at 2 and 3 players, and it wasn't it. You know, I felt that it is a much lighter game than everything that I've mentioned before. I was pretty disappointed from it because I think there was not enough interaction for me, just not enough going on the board. Of course, that from the get-go, you have to use the expansion. This how I compare it is basically playing Tricarion without the Dark Alley. It's maybe nice for 1 or 2 rounds just to understand the game, but you have to add like the first expansion that, again, in my opinion, it's not really expansion, it's the full game, in order to enjoy from the game. And the second expansion is just something that I'm like, okay, if I'm not enjoying the base game to that degree, I just don't think that I'm going to use the second expansion, and I just let this game go, unfortunately. It's not to say that I'm not enjoying lighter games or medium weight games, but again, I was really looking forward for something that is going to burn some brain cells. You know what I mean? After, again, Tricarion, Cerebria, and Anachrony, I had high hopes. It wasn't it. Moving to the 5th game on this list, it's a game that I actually bought after pledging for another game from that publisher, that is Fantasia Games. That's the name of the publisher. The second game that I backed and actually really surprised me, and I played it like many times this year, is of course Unconscious Mind, but the game that I'm talking about is Endless Winter. Now, on paper, like other games that I have on this list, Endless Winter should have been like a great game for me. It had their deck building, a little bit of area control, resources, like so many things going on, and the production was gorgeous. I loved it, at least again on paper, on the trailer video. And when I got this game, I was like, wow, this is so far from what I wanted a board game. Just felt like a hot mess on the table. I know again that it's a very popular game. I know that a lot of people like it. I just think that Unconscious Mind is much better. Not really to compare between the two of them, because there are a lot of things that are different, but I'm just talking about the same, like another game from the same publisher. So the fact that there were so many expansions, modules, so many boards, just even with the base game, so many boards, and it felt just like a little bit from different things, you know, like a little bit from this mechanism, a little bit from this mechanism, and it really stayed on the surface instead of like taking 1, 2, or even 3 mechanisms in this game and just going deep. The set collection there felt a little bit weird for me. Also in this game, it felt like it's a little bit too easy to achieve everything that you want and score at so many victory points, when it just to a point that it felt a little bit weird. So that was Endless Winter. And moving on to the next game, that is Civilization, A New Dawn. And it's important for me to tell you that it's a new dawn because I've just heard, that the previous game, actually Civilization from 2010 by Fantasy Flight Games, is actually much better, especially with the other 2 expansions. Now, during my stay in Geneva, I actually managed to find this game. It's waiting for me in Paris. I'll get to it. Not so sure before the end of this year, but for sure, it's one of my top priorities. I absolutely love the Civilization series on the PC game. I think that I have around 3,000 hours. I kid you not, 3,000 hours in the PC game. I just played it a lot, especially Civ 6. And I love this game so much. And Civilization A New Dawn, it was actually a present. So from a friend that knows me really good, is like, hey, Civilization, board game, you know, the two of those have to match good together, right? And this game really left me disappointed. And yes, even with the expansion Terra Incognita, I want to say, or something like that, I'm going to add it on your screen. Even at that point, it was still a disappointing game for me. So after hearing the advice that I'm not going to say the original, because there is even an older Civilization, but Civilization from 2010, is supposed to be the better game. Maybe A New Dawn is supposed to be more streamlined and played faster. Most of the cases, I think that I don't care about the playtime. I just want the game to be good. Maybe with the exception of games like Twilight Imperium or something that you need to commit around 10, 12, 14 hours for. So that is the exception, but in general, I don't mind that games are taking a lot of time. That is totally okay for me. Hopefully that the Civilization from 2010 will be better in my opinion. Moving up to number 7, and that is Viticulture. And I know that I'm going to have a lot of backfire on this, okay? First of all, Mike McRaith, I'm really sorry that you need to hear it, but, and I'm sorry, I know guys that this is a very popular game that many people like. That's again, one of the rules from the beginning. If you remember, that is just my honest opinion. So I got Viticulture as part of my research for games with a theme, general theme of farming. And it looked cool, again, worker placement, which at least at that time I really liked, another Euro game. The theme looked nice, the production seems decent. So I got the wine crate, I think that's the name of the specific thing that I got with all of the expansions. I hope it's called wine crate, it just came in some sort of a deluxe special edition or something like that. And played the base game, I'm like, okay, this is, I feel like there's supposed to be a little bit more. And then I understood that actually you need to add all the expansions that, in my opinion, again, should be the base game. Okay, I think that just in the base game of Viticulture, there is just not enough going on the table. So I added everything. And even then the game was like, okay, probably I will not refuse to play this game if I'm being hosted somewhere and they're like, hey, let's play Viticulture because there's nothing else to play. So I'm not going to actively like, all right, I'm going home, you guys. I'll play this game, sure. But I got disappointed from it. And I think that it was after I really enjoyed Scythe, maybe my taste changed because I don't know if Scythe is going to stay in my collection. As I said in my videos, 10 games that are receiving one last chance from me. But at the time, Scythe was a game that I really enjoyed. So I thought another game from the same publishers should be okay. Again, maybe I needed to do my homework a little bit better. Maybe I should have watched some more playthroughs. So, but at least it doesn't change the fact that when I got the game and I played it a few times with all the expansions, it was still not what I was looking for. But even though I got rid of it, I think that in the farming theme board games out there, I would recommend playing Viticulture if you're relatively new to the hobby or if you're a lighter kind of player. That is a game that I would recommend to at least start with and then maybe move to other stuff. But I ended up again getting rid of it, and the only game that I left in this genre or in this theme of farming is actually Hallertau from Uwe Rosenberg, but that's another video that I did, so I'm going to leave just a link down below. Moving on to the next game, and now we're actually moving to the top 3, and this is where probably the 3 games that I got the most disappointed of, but really nothing come close to number 1. Like the number or the 10th game that I'm going to have on this list is really a game that I was devastated. So moving on again to number 8, and that is going to be Fallout, again by Fantasy Flight Games. Listen, you guys, I freaking love the IP, okay? From, when was it, the first Fallout on the computer in 1997, 98, something like that? It's still a child. Absolutely freaking love this game. Played everything, Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, 3, that was like in Washington, DC, then New Vegas, of course, probably, I don't want to say the best because I think Fallout 2 was incredibly good, but I played a lot New Vegas. So again, it was a present from my best friend. He's like, oh, an IP that Asaf likes and also a board game should work together, right? But the base game, and I'm talking only about the base game of Fallout, for me was a catastrophe. It's really not what I was looking for. For me, it didn't make sense that in Fallout, you actually have like a competition. It's about who's going to win. Like Fallout from the beginning didn't make sense to me that it's going to be a competitive game. So at least I'm a little bit off the hook because I didn't buy this game, but this game, Jesus Christ, it disappointed me. But I have to tell you that with the New California expansion and also the Atomic Bombs, This game is in a completely different place. And one day when I'm going to do the top 10 expansions for me, I can already give you a short spoiler and tell you that New California and Atomic Bonds are absolutely a game changer, because from a game that I just don't want to touch, it became a game that I would love to play and I would love to table it, and probably I should do a playthrough for this game. So that is something that I'm planning starting from now to do. So that was Fallout, the base game by Fantasy Flight Game. Moving on to number 9, but actually the second game that most disappointed me on this list, and that is Lords of Ragnarok, again by Awakened Realms. And this time, look, I said it also in my review that I did for Lords of Ragnarok. For me, it was like a strategy game from Awakened Realms, and I already freaking loved The Great Wall. It was absolutely a fantastic game for me. And again, and I know that I'm promising this already for a long time, but I will have an explanatory playthrough for The Great Wall. I promise. I just need to finish with all the moving and let my girlfriend finish painting the entire game. But I thought to myself, okay, another strategy game from Awakened Realms, and also Adam Kwapinski that I absolutely love from Frostpunk. At the time it was from Frostpunk, and also from Dark Ages. Incredible, two incredible games. I thought, like, if you're going to mix both of them together, it should be incredible. Now, I never played Lords of Hellas, so I didn't have really the idea of what's going on there. I just, again, saw the production, saw the designer, saw the publishing company. I'm like, okay, this is a win 100%. Super excited, got everything for it, and was extremely disappointed. First of all, it just, when you put everything with the like at some point I actually decided not to play with some of the terrain pack just because it looked too much on the board. You didn't really understand what's going on where, and I just decided not to play with the miniatures. So it's already saying something. And if we're already talking about the miniatures, then I think that here the production was not what I was expecting from Awakened Realms. I was used to everything being really on the high end, one of the best productions, I think, in the board game market. But here in Lords of Ragnarok, I was like, no, this is not what I'm used to from this company. I think that the rules were okay. Probably a rulebook should have been done better, but fine. This game, in my opinion, just had so many faults, so many things that I would have done differently, or I wished would have been done differently. And I played it in all the player counts. Solo, 2 players, 3, 4, and I think that with, definitely with the stretch goals, you could even play with 5 players. Nothing worked there. Downtime was just agony for me. It was too much, literally. And I'm not that kind of person. When someone else is playing, like being on my phone, I like being concentrated and see what's going on. In this case, after the first and second player played, I was like, all right, I'm freaking bored. You know, I'm just looking at other stuff on my phone. Couldn't care less about what's going on. I felt that the winning conditions are, well, again, this is not a review for Lords of Ragnarok. I just wanted to share it with you, but feel free to watch that review that I did for Lords of Ragnarok. There is a chance that, again, I'm here in the minority, but I did feel that there is a lot of disappointment from this game as well. Moving on to number 10 on this list, and the game that I was the most disappointed from all around, and I'm going to take a few more minutes to talk about it. That is Total War Rome. I don't know where to begin with. I'm not even an original backer. I picked it up in Essen last year because they had a few copies there. The game was delayed by a lot of time, but again, because I'm not an original backer, I don't think that it is fair for me to complain about that because I didn't wait, I just got the game. I think that all in all, I paid for this game with some miniatures and some gold coins, probably 180 or 200 euros, something like that. It was only the base game, a small expansion, the combat expansion that I forgot the name, and just like metal pieces and some miniatures. I don't know where to begin with. First of all, and I thought I'm going to do a review for this game, but actually after this video, I don't think I would like to speak about this game ever again. Okay, I don't think that it deserves another video to take place in my channel. It's just I'm done with this. So from the beginning, like even the list of components is actually on a different paper than the rulebook. Like what, it would have cost you something just to add this piece of paper inside the rulebook. It is so strange, and I'm like flipping everything, looking the internet, like where the fluff is the list component, and I'm like, oh, it's on the other side of a page that it was so random. Fine, rulebook, a catastrophe, 100% a catastrophe. You need to understand that in order for me to do the 2 videos that I did, the playthrough of 2 rounds for this game, I actually needed to wake up a few days at around 5 o'clock in the morning in order to play with someone who lives in California, for them to actually walk me through this game and make sure that I understood everything. Denison Scott, if you're watching it, thank you. It was just terrible. The miniature, the production value, how a game like this costs 200 euros, I have no idea. The board, the art on the board is mediocre at best. The miniatures, the quality of the miniatures is hot garbage. Even the numbers on the ships, because you have like numbers on the miniatures, the numbers on the ships are actually at the bottom of the miniature. Why not putting it on the sail? What do I need to every time take the miniature, look down and this is ship number 1, so that is ship number 2. It made 0 sense. Even the numbers on the soldier miniatures, what it represents actually your armies, it's so unclear, and so many times I actually forgot which army is what because it was not clear. It made 0 sense to me. The other small miniatures that I bought as extras, it's a joke. I swear to God, it would have made more sense for me to buy Lego pieces and just place them on the board. Another thing that drove me crazy is that on the box, it says 1 to 4 players. Okay, where are the rules for the solo mode? I'll do another video for the solo mode. The game is already on my table. I already know how to play it. And what do I figure out? That actually, if you want to play the solo, then there's a PDF file that you can download. Oh, really? There's a PDF that I can download. So right on the box, 2 to 4 players. This is, if you don't have the rules for the solo in the box produced, this is not a 1 to 4 player game. It's like I'm going to tell you this is a 2 to 5 player game, and then you're receiving the game. There are no components for the 5th player. Where are the components for the 5th player? Oh, you can just print and play. Print and play. Go fluff yourself. If you don't have the materials in the box to play solo or any other combination of number of players, doesn't matter, then this is not what should have been written on the box. This is, honestly, it's almost like lying to your potential buyers and backers. Now, on top of that, but again, I'm not an original backer, so I don't know if it's cool that I'm complaining about it, but the hot mess that happened with the designer Simon Hall, that at some point took over the project just to not deliver it on time, and then recently I saw that someone else took over to try and help and produce the second wave with so many other expansions. I don't know, guys. It blew my mind. Okay, combat there is the opposite of, and the thing that annoys me. Okay, why I was so disappointed, because of course, I love the IP, and I played Total War Rome, and my favorite was Medieval. So many hours, and the production, the game were garbage, and the combat, so what I wanted to say, I'm sorry, I'm a bit emotional when it comes to this game, but the game itself, that there is something good that can happen there. It's just the way to get to it is like basically Frodo going to Mordor and dying 1 second before throwing the ring. It's a nightmare. It's absolutely hell. I think that the only positive thing that this game has to offer to you is actually the community of Total War Rome on BGG and the Discord. So shout out to Cauliflower and the guys over there. I'm sorry, I know that I'm missing some names, but these guys with endless patience, super nice, willing to help, everything. That is probably the only positive thing that I can say about this game. So, after concluding this whole list, those are the 10 games that disappointed me. As for now, I'm sure there's going to be a video down the road, so I'm going to name some more games that disappointed me. And if you guys are here to actually see who is the winner of the Starcraft, the board game free giveaway, then this is the time that I'm going to do it. All right, so I have here just a website that I found that actually is going to it's a YouTube comment picker. All right, so I put the link of the video from YouTube, of course, over here. And then I'm just going to click this button. We're going to do it live, no cuts or something like that. And we'll see who is going to be the winner. So let's do it together. Pressing here, and the winner of Starcraft, the board game, is Mr. Bovin Johnny. So congratulations. Please feel free to contact me. I'm also going to leave a comment on your comment to to share with you the news that you won the copy of Starcraft, the board game. So congratulations. And if you didn't see it before in my previous video, don't worry, I'm going to continue and tracking down copies of Starcraft just so I can give it to you. And also I promise that after I'm moving to Poland in November, I'm going to do a free giveaway of Forbidden Stars. So that is something to look forward to. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I hope that you saw something that you like or learned something new. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it a lot. Take care, and I'll see you next time.